Hello, it's me, Bruce. Today I'm going to talk to you about chronic fatigue syndrome, also known as CFIS, chronic fatigue immune syndrome. Let's start off with the definition of chronic fatigue. It is exactly as it reads, chronic fatigue. To me, chronic fatigue is just more than being tired all the time. With CFIS, a person may get some rest or sleep, but they do not feel refreshed when they awake. As far as myself, I have to take plenty of naps throughout the day. I do not per se sleep. I just close my eyes and rest. My best part of the day right now is in the mornings. I try not to schedule any doctor appointments or any appointments for after 12 because that's kind of when I'm at my worst. So, I think that's when my body wants to kind of shut down for the day. Excuse me. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, chronic fatigue syndrome, or CFIS again, is a debilitating complex disorder characterized by profound fatigue that is not improved by bed rest and that may be worsened by physical or mental activity. In order to get exhausted, you don't have to do things physically like that just said. It can be mentally. So by doing any homework or any type of work that uses the mind, that can really drain you out also. Symptoms affect several body symptoms and may include weakness, muscle pain, impaired memory and or mental concentration, and insomnia, which can result in reduced participating in daily activities. Right now, that's what I'm battling is insomnia. My body doesn't know when to wake up and go to sleep. So that's why I think I'm at my best first thing in the morning. What's happening is I'm taking my bedtime pills early, like 5 o'clock. And it takes about an hour or two to take effect. So I should really be taking them around 9, but it's just in the morning and throughout the day, it's just because I'm so tired, I kind of branch off and I want to take them early. So what I'm trying to do now is take later and later. The CDC looks at the individual if they had a severe chronic fatigue for more than 6 months. It is not due to heavy exertion or other medical conditions, which is found in other illnesses with severe fatigue. These other conditions need to be ruled out after necessary tests have been done. If all tests come out normal, then more than likely you have chronic fatigue syndrome. I myself this past summer has had a lot of health issues like blood pressure problems. I've had problems with my stomach and that. And so I had quite a workup over the summer. Luckily, thank God, my heart is fine. There's no problems with that, which we kind of suspected possibly. So what is it? It's just darn chronic fatigue. In 1990, I lived in Florida, and at the time they had the encephalitis mosquitoes, they call them. They were the mosquitoes that carry the encephalitis virus. And we were warned not to go out at night. We don't have to. And also, if we do go out, to wear long pants, long sleeves, cover up your legs and arms and hands if you can. Needless to say, I didn't listen to him. I went down to our swimming pool, and of course, I went swimming, so that means I didn't have a shirt on, and I just had my shorts. So, yeah, I got bit by that mosquito, and I can remember the symptoms I had when the encephalitis. I'd be hospitalized for a couple of weeks, of course, and after that was when the chronic fatigue came in, and I had a lot worse symptoms than I do today. Basically, my chief complaints today is tiredness, extreme tiredness throughout the day. Back then, I had many headaches, weird headaches, numbness type feeling all over me, and just many different symptoms. But anyway, getting back to the present, like I said, I'm doing pretty good now, so it's not as bad as then. Managing with chronic fatigue syndrome. How does a person manage with having chronic fatigue? Well, for myself right now, I try not to schedule any appointments or see someone for the afternoon, like I mentioned earlier. I make all my appointments if I can first thing in the morning. I figure I may have about 30 minutes worth of energy before I need to rest. I am going to bed early right now, as I mentioned. It is not like other illnesses where you stay in bed for a couple days and you are over the illness. Chronic fatigue is just the opposite. You need to rest, you do need to rest, let me highlight that. However, if you don't rest, things are only going to get worse. So, you see, this is just the opposite with CFIS. No matter how much rest you can get, you still feel very fatigued. I have a regular medical doctor who sees me. Also, I have a psychiatrist and therapist to help me. Medical doctor, what she does is check me out physically. And she's giving me right now B12 shots once a month. And she's played a role this past summer in helping me out, finding out what medical issues I had, like high blood pressure and that. So she was the other one. And I see a psychiatrist, or actually she's a therapist. And what that's good for is for me to talk, you know, anything that bothers me. Of course, going through this illness, it's going to be to have some things on your mind. So I go talk to her and get things off my chest, things off my mind. It's good to talk about your problems a person may have. Just think, if we don't talk about our problems, think of our problems being in a pressure cooker. Could you imagine eventually, especially with being, no matter what illness you may have, that pressure cooker is going to blow. I've been thinking on why I did get the CFIDs, which I mentioned. This recent one. I've been under a lot of stress this past year with my sister having a heart attack. I had to get rid of her cats and get rid of her apartment. And at the same time, I was trying to start my own taxi business. So with all that, it just took a toll on me. Funny is, at the time I did not think I was under stress. You don't realize you're under stress. That's how it was. The hardest part of the day is the afternoon. Right now we're going into the summer cycle, and the heat is coming in. Today's supposed to be 90, 91 degrees, and it's going to be a hot one out there. So the heat does bother me just like everybody else. I try to do whatever I need to first thing in the morning. I keep on mentioning that, saying that. It is a good thing that I'm on disability right now, because there is no work I can do for the moment. I'm a writer. I like to write. That's what this is about. I mentioned, what is it called? Me and chronic fatigue syndrome on me. This is a documentary, plus I've written the book. A lot of stuff I've written on, books on, I experienced, and they're self-help books like mental illness and that. So keep on checking out my channel here, because I'm going to be putting on new, different videos on a weekly basis. Last month I went to the doctor, which led me to the emergency room. I had all sorts of blood tests, and this one I'm going to highlight. I had a CAT scan I didn't mention earlier of the brain, and a lot of blood tests. As I said, all these came out good. Let's see, where we go. I can remember when I first came down with the illness, I was worse then than I am now. Well, last year I first started getting sick with this skin. I call it getting sick with chronic fatigue. Now I'm doing much, much better. Jesus, almost 2 o'clock now, and I don't feel really wiped out. So I'm getting there slowly. You know, things, you got to pace yourself. That's the other thing I wanted to talk about. Pace yourself and go slow. If you feel yourself, your body tiring out, by all means, that's when it's time to stop. And don't feel bad to tell people no. Today I may feel real good, and I may want to do with somebody tomorrow. And tomorrow I wake up and, well, if I didn't get enough sleep or proper sleep, I just can't do it. So I have to cancel, and I say no. You know, you have to learn to say no. Let's see what else we want to talk about here. Learn how to pace yourself, I just mentioned. Walking. You're going to say, boy, Bruce, you're crazy. I thought the doctor was, when he told me that, about walking. But I started walking a little bit. You know, the steps, I like this phone I have, the app. I forget what it's called, Lose It or something like that. Keeps track of your steps. So even if I did 50 steps, then that's pretty good. But do something. You gotta walk in the house. Like today's gonna be a hot one, so I'm indoors all day, and I'll do some pit around and walk in the house. Walking you need to do very little. As you go along, you're gonna know when it's time to continue, when it's time to go walk longer, go further. So you know, it's one day at a time, one moment at a time. Listen to what your body's telling you. You're going to get aches and pains all day sometimes, and maybe just a bad day for you. So that's where you need to kick back and relax the whole day. But keep your mind busy. Like we were talking about pressure cooker earlier, we don't want that. So by watching a movie, reading a book, or just listening to any kind of music, I myself like to listen to Christian music and music from the 70s and 80s. So that keeps your mind occupied, because sometimes what happens when you sit idle or laying down, your mind works overtime, and negative things start coming in. So anxiety and chronic fatigue. You know, some people have problems with anxiety. Well, just to begin with. Also with chronic fatigue, because where did my anxiety come from? Because all the physical symptoms I was having, I didn't know. It felt like a heart attack or things like that. So you can have some anxiety, and it's good to get that in there. You know, people do not realize how serious chronic fatigue syndrome is. CFITS can and is debilitating illness. I have it, and it's more than just being tired all the day. Talking about my experience, how I get by each day, I had to tell you the truth. Some days are harder than others. We mentioned that. So I did a lot of research over the years. So this is not only to help me, but hopefully I can help you or someone out there who bought this DVD or bought my book and reading it. So, you know, living with chronic fatigue syndrome can be hard at times. That's everybody. I have my good days, my bad days. I just thank God for the good days I have. That's about it on chronic fatigue. You know, there's basically not much that can be done for it, really. You know, is it psych? Is it psychological? Is it physical? It's both. It's both. You're not all nuts in your head. It's not your mind causing this, but it's both. But I advise you to do a lot of research. Today we have the computers, and you can go on Google or any place you want and do a lot of research on chronic fatigue. The thing that helps me a little bit right now is the B12 shots. In between seeing my doctor once a month, I have B12 pills. I take a vitamin D prescribed. I think it's for like 50 units or so. So that's about it in a nutshell. Look for my future videos on depression, bipolar, anxiety, and who knows what I'm going to come out with. Anyhow, at the end of this, it's going to be my email address and my website. You look at my website and see if there's any purchases you want to make, because that's where I have my books for sale. Anyhow, guys, God bless. Gotta run. No, this guy's going to walk. God bless. Take care. Have a good day.